What's going on, traders? In this video, I'll be sharing a super simple trading strategy that you can start using today. This strategy works on every single asset class, whether you're trading stocks, options, crypto, forex, futures, it does not matter. And if you're scalping, day trading, or swing trading, you can also use this strategy because it works on every single time frame. In this video, I'll be sharing the indicators you need for this strategy, how to set them up, and then I'm going to be walking you through some long trades and some short trade examples so you know exactly how to use this strategy. Anyways, without further more ado, let's get right into it. First thing we'll need to do is add the two indicators for this strategy. So head over to the indicators tab and then search for the SFX Algo Toolkit and the SFX Screener, both by Flux charts. After you've added both of these indicators, your chart should look something like this. We're going to have to make some changes to both of these indicators, so we'll start with the SFX screener, jump into the settings, and then disable every single ticker so you only have two tickers enabled. After that, you want to make sure that both of your tickers match the chart you are currently on. I'm currently trading gold, so I'll input my first ticker to be gold, and then I'll also make sure my second ticker is gold. After you've set both of your tickers to be the same as your current chart, you'll want to adjust the time frames both of these tickers are looking at. Basically, if you don't know, this tool is a screener that is screening features from the SFX Algo Toolkit, but it's doing this on other time frames, so we don't have to be watching the charts of those higher time frames, and we can still get information from the higher time frames. So we'll set our first time frame to be the 1 hour, and we'll set our second one to be the 4 hour. This means we're watching what the SFX Algo Toolkit is doing on the 1 hour and 4 hour time frames for gold's chart. And we only care about the signal for this strategy, so we will actually disable the P&L and we'll disable these TPs and the Gauss ribbons so it doesn't show up in the dashboard. But one more thing that you do have to do with the screener is down here in the algorithm settings. You want to make sure that these algorithm settings match how you're going to be trading. And what I mean by this is currently I have the trading styles set to day trader, and that's because I'm on the 5-minute time frame, so I am going to be day trading with this strategy. However, if you're using like the 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, you might want to use scalper. And if you're using like the 15 to 1 hour time frames, then you might want to use swing trader. It all depends on your style of trading and what you plan on doing. But since I'm on the 5-minute time frame, I will use day trader. And then since I don't want to manually adjust the sensitivity for these signals, I will just enable the AI sensitivity optimizer. Obviously, if you guys want to manually adjust this, you can, but to keep things simple in this video, I'll just be using the AI sensitivity optimizer. After that, you can click OK, and then we'll go into the SFX Algo Toolkit settings. And just like the screener, we're going to make sure that our algorithm settings match those from the screener. So we have day trader as our trading style, and then we'll also enable the AI sensitivity optimizer. After this, we'll disable the stop loss and take profits. We'll also disable the take profit and stop loss levels. And in the overlays, we only want to have the Gauss ribbon enabled. You can also keep trend coloring enabled if you want. I'll keep it on just because it makes the chart look a bit cleaner. And then you are all set. Now, before we jump into the trade examples, I do want to give you a little bit of a background about this strategy and kind of how it works. So the idea behind this strategy is that we are trading with the higher time frame trend, and that's exactly why we have the screener. The screener is telling us what the trend looks like on the higher time frame. So right now, as you can see on the 4 hour and 1 hour time frames for gold, the signal is bearish. We have a bearish plus signal and a bearish signal, which means we are bearish on higher time frames, which means we're only looking for short trades on a lower time frame. And then let's say the dashboard was bullish on both the 1 hour and 4 hour time frames, we would only be looking for long trades on our 5-minute chart. So that's how we're going to be using the screener. We want both the 1 hour and 4 hour to agree on a direction, so we can then take trades on a lower time frame. All right, now let's get into our first long trade example. Here we have a bullish signal on the 1 hour time frame, a bullish signal on the 4 hour time frame. So both of our higher time frames are bullish, which means we are now looking for long trade opportunities on our lower time frame or the 5-minute. So when looking for long trade opportunities, we want to see a bullish signal happen on the 5-minute. And then we're going to take an entry every time price comes back to this ribbon. Now you're probably wondering, why didn't you take the entry over here, over here, over here? It's because the dashboard just switched to bullish on both of these time frames after this candlestick. I'll get into replay mode and show you. So here we still have a bearish 4 hour time frame, still bearish, and then we do not flip bullish until here. So what we're waiting for now is basically price to come back above this ribbon and then retrace back into the ribbon so we can take our long entry. So let's see that happening. All right, as you can see, this candle closes above the ribbon and then this candle pulls back into the ribbon. So this is where we would take our long entry. We're going to set our stop loss at the low of the ribbon. And then this is where everything kind of becomes up to you as a trader. When deciding how much you want to risk and what type of risk to reward you want to take, it all depends on your risk tolerance and how you are as a trader. For this strategy, I'm going to be targeting a 1-to-4 risk to reward ratio, but I will be scaling profits at a 1-to-1, 1-to-2, 1-to-3, and I'll be fully closing my position out at the 1-to-4. Again, it all depends on your risk tolerance and how you are as a trader. So we can see that this trade actually gets stopped out pretty fast, but that's okay because we get another long trade opportunity. Over here, we get a candle that closes back above the ribbon, and then the next candle wicks into our Gauss ribbon. So this is exactly where we would have taken another long entry. We would have set the stop loss at the low of the ribbon, and in our case, we're targeting a 1-to-4 risk to reward ratio trade. Okay. As you can see, this trade played out for a while, but it does end up hitting that take profit. Now, for our next trade, all we're waiting for is for price to come back and retrace to the wave. Again, we're going to keep taking trades as long as our dashboard is bullish. The moment our dashboard is not fully bullish, then we're not looking for long trades. So here, price comes back to the wave, and this is exactly where we would take our long entry. Our stop loss is coming at the bottom of the wave, and we are targeting a 1-to-4 risk to reward ratio trade. All right, so in this example, the trade never ends up coming to our take profit, and what happens is we get a bearish signal from the SFX Algo Toolkit. And when this happens, when you are in an open position that is long, you will close out your long position. So we would have closed out the position right here when that bearish candle closes and we get that bearish signal. So this only would have been a 1.5 risk reward ratio trade. And basically, the next time you would look for a long trade is when you get another bullish signal on the 5-minute time frame and price comes back to the ribbon. And you would only do this as long as the dashboard is still bullish. So now I'll jump into some short trade examples to show you how this works when looking for sells. Okay, here we have a bearish signal on the 4-hour time frame. We have a bearish plus signal on the 1-hour time frame. So both of our higher time frames are bearish, confirming that we are only looking for sells on the lower time frame. And then on our 5-minute chart, we actually get a bearish signal from the SFX Algo Toolkit. So now the last thing we're going to do is wait for price to retrace back to this bearish Gauss ribbon, and that's where we'll take our sells. Okay, here price comes back and retraces to the ribbon, so we'll take a short entry. Our stop loss is at the high of the ribbon, and we are targeting a 1-to-4 risk to reward ratio trade. So this trade almost got wicked out, but it ended up playing out and hitting our take profit down here. So now when we're looking for a re-entry, all we're waiting for is for price to come back to the ribbon, and then we're going to open up another short position. Okay, here price comes back to the ribbon, retraces to it, so this is exactly where we'll take our short entry. Again, as long as the dashboard is bearish, we are looking for sells, and if it's bullish, we are looking for buys. We'll set this to be a 1-to-4 risk to reward ratio trade, and then we'll let it play out. Wow, just like the other trade, this one almost gets stopped out, but we end up pushing all the way down and hitting that take profit. We literally just hit 2 1-to-4 risk to reward ratio trades in a row, which is insane. Again, if you're not comfortable with such a high risk to reward ratio, you can always adjust this. And like always, I recommend that you're scaling profits when you hit a 1-to-1, 1-to-1.5, 1-to-2, 1-to-3, etc., so that you're always securing your profits. And while you're doing this, I want you guys to be moving your stop loss down or up, depending long or short, so that you're actually minimizing the risk of the trade completely, and eventually you have a risk-free trade. That's all for this video. If you guys have any questions or comments about this strategy, just leave a message in the Discord, and I hope you guys all have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you for watching.